Good evening. Thanks for joining us. You've reached the Fanaddicts of Film, and this is Blasterpiece Theater. And my name is Ben, and I've got my good cohorts with me.
Saboba! Alex.
Back from the Outer Rim. Here I am again. I'm Neil.
Do you mind if I call you Sabulbs?
Sabulbs.
The bulbs. The bulbs. It's like the Burbs, but it's the bulbs instead of the the Burbs, starring Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. That's an old movie. I'm surprised I even know it. Are you kidding me? It's ancient. It's older than I am.
Hey, Neil was in that movie. Okay,
It's true. I was dug up. In my fossil form to reprise my role as a curb.
a very fancy curb. It's a curb that designed by artisans, fancy schmancy artisans. Thanks again for joining us, you guys, and hopefully you love talking about Star Wars like we do. And we're just hanging out on a Thursday night and talking about what is current right now, especially with what's been happening with Mara Jade. Apparently there is a character named Mara Jade, at least on the set, or at least they're looking for a Mara Jade type character. They're code-naming it Mara, looking for an actress in their 40s or 50s. And, right off, me personally, sorry, too little too late. You had your chance to bring Mara into the mix, man. It's like, we could have seen Mara. Anyway, that's just my opinion. You're going to kill Luke off, but then bring Mara back? Weirdness.
Yes and no. If they're going to do some revival, they almost need to bring somebody back.
Yeah.
Part of the family.
I feel it.
To kind of center everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get where you're coming from. It would have been great to see her as, her interaction with Luke. But
something. Anyway.
But that could still happen. There could still be some Force Ghost interaction between Mara. Maybe they can astral project themselves into their own little, space of the Force.
into their own little Force chat, Skype session.
Yeah, I feel like it just sets it back too much. If they introduce like a whole on the 9th movie, on the last one, oh, here's his wife, and here's a whole backstory, and
honestly, if they bring her in, I doubt they're going to give her a backstory
Right?
at all. And so just in case any of you haven't read, if you have not read the original Thrawn trilogy that was written in the 90s, do yourself a favor. Mara Jade alone, the character of Mara Jade alone is worth it just to read that entire trilogy.
Well, and I was just going to say, whatever backstory she has, bringing her into episode 9 will probably not include any of that. It will most likely be her, some kind of movie bastardization of what her character was.
Yeah, I know.
Just so that, just so you can kind of pull fan service or try to I don't know. It's pretty heavy speculation at this point, but, kind of exciting hearing her name being tossed around, kind of not, because who knows what phase of repair or disrepair we're in right now as far as going into the filming of episode 9.
Yeah.
just don't get caught by the clickbaits with all these 20-year-old something. Mara Jade. No, they're casting 40 to 50, which means 60 to 70.
Well, the point. I think the point is the name, and people will click on it regardless of her name. I hope, whatever. So that's my 2 cents on. It's such a great story. Like with Palpatine, even though he's dead, he somehow has kind of taken control of her mind so a little bit. So she's still like, I've got to have my revenge on Luke. So this whole time, he turns her, eventually, turns her back and changes her, which is an amazing thing because it reinforces the greatness of Luke and how he's Gandhi and everything. But the point is that
Gandhi.
He is. That's exactly. He's the Gandhi of Star Wars. So, but it's a great. If you do get a chance, read the original Thrawn trilogy. Great stuff. For that reason alone. Anyone else want to talk about Mara? Or do you want to move on?
Well,
no, it's...
Instead of casting Mara, they should just put Ahsoka in. They should just put Ahsoka in. It would just be better. The backstory's already there. She's already an awesome character. She went off on her own little thing. Like, but we all know that it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. It is there's that distinct, large separation between these amazing characters that we love that are in the animated series, and it's like we're gonna probably see her in the next one, whatever that is, you know, the next animated series. But it's like if she's like around, and they put her in these Forces of Destiny, and we see her with Leia, it's like, come on, like, anyway, it's just
she
needs
would
to
be
be
that age too.
Yeah, and yeah,
she'd be a little bit older.
Okay.
Yeah, she would be. Oh my god.
yeah, it's weird. It's once.
Well, the strange part is like going into speculation land as we are, but to bring JJ back into the fold, you know, they're obviously listening to fans in some sort of regard. But what is it? And
What are they choosing?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're on point though, Alex. I think, you know, bringing somebody in from the Rebels or something from, you know, the stories that have been established that are new, but they're also contiguous with what's going on. Then yeah, that would be cool.
Honestly, I don't even think JJ's ever seen an episode of the Clone Wars, let alone knows who Ahsoka is. Which is, you know, it's like when you think about it, does he? Probably not. Like when you think about JJ, I mean, he's got a million things to do. He's running his own production company. He's running he's executive producer on like probably about 25 different movies right now, and that's probably not an exaggeration. Yeah. I mean, we could look him up on IMDb right now. Like last time I looked him up, it's like, you know, it has the list of like 20 movies that are in development right now, and he's, you know, so he's a busy guy, and so we get that. But it's like, anyway, so I mean, it's like, you know, once again, it's like, go to the source material, get someone who has the time, like David Benioff, D.B. Weiss, and John Favreau, and Curtis. Anyway, so that's just our opinion on that. Hopefully, you guys want Mara back, or at least would have liked to have had her to begin with, and maybe, you know, would like to see Ahsoka in Episode 9. But yeah,
it's like, don't look at the name on the box. Look inside the box. Just because JJ's name's on it, just because Disney's name's on it. Yeah. That's about all I got for Mara.
It's like a box of cereal. I want to try Mara Jade cereal. Anyway, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is you said what's on the box.
Very inappropriate comment that I'm going to keep to myself. We're keeping this PG.
Hey, I was just talking about cereal. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but so anyway, onto the real, well, not the real, but the thing that's happening right now, and I've had many discussions with people on Twitter about this, the Mark Hamill thing that's happening here, and it's sad, and sorry to keep dwelling on this, you guys, but we all care about Mark. We do. We care about what's happened to him, what he's gone through. The poor guy had to endure this madness while trying to film, you know, the destruction and total, you know, rape of his character, total destruction of his character, and in the same process losing a dear friend. I mean, he and Carrie weren't like bosom buddies, but they were close. I mean, to a certain degree, as you know.
It's a huge history there. Absolutely.
So, anyway.
And it's kind of funny because, you know, he hasn't been in the limelight for a while, and then the excitement surrounding him to come back and play this character. Yeah, it's, I'm sure, a big kind of letdown for him in the regards of, you know, Carrie's passing, and now he's kind of just, you know, interview after interview, you know.
Dude, for him, it must be so anticlimactic. Because he thought it was going to be this awesome movie. He was going to be so strong. He got in shape. He was looking great at the end of Force Awakens. And then rug got pulled out from under him. He hates what happened to his character. He sticks by his initial reaction, which was, nope. And you're right. Now he's just doing interview after interview. His character's done. He's already been like, dude, I'm like, whatever. Even if they bring him back as a Force ghost, it's like, for him, I bet he feels washed up.
So anyway, we're just gonna get to this, and we're not gonna spend a huge amount of time on it. But this is an article that came out in Ireland. They were just forgive me, I can't remember. This is an article that dropped in Ireland, and they were just giving him a last moment of kind of asking him about everything and how he's dealing with everything. And seeing him in shape, and but he looks exhausted. When I climbed the 600 steps of Skellig Island, there was a shot in episode 8, and I had to take breaks every 15 minutes, he says. Okay, so anyway, Mark Hamill seemed in great shape, signed autographs to the chain, and responded with enthusiasm to journalists. He interrupts a reverie with a resigned tone. So what do you want to know? Everything. His intimate relationship to Luke Skywalker, his philosophical and metaphysical analysis of the character, his feeling about the critics against The Last Jedi, his relationship with Disney. But we have to settle for little. This time is not very much time to talk. And so ultimately they're brought to radical changes in the character of Skywalker. A few weeks later, the star backpedaled, and I made a video about this because I felt like I actually thought that because I actually remembered this so vividly, because he was I saw the it's like the second week of The Last Jedi coming out, and there was a severe drop off in sales in the actual, and everybody was saying, okay, yeah, this is going to tank because of the backlash and everything. So anyway, and I reached out to Mark, and I felt bad, so whatever, who cares. But anyway, the point is that I watched this whole thing happen and unfold. And of course, once again, he's reaffirming his initial position, taking more tweezers. It's not just me. The fans would have wanted Luke's fate to take another direction. I like being out of my comfort zone, but that was pretty extreme. So once again, going back to what, and he was stuck in this, in the marketing. He was in the marketing thing that he had to kind of agree with and had to just be professional.
Yeah, you can just like the acting. It's all the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah,
proof's in the pudding. We talked about it before. Like you can see Hamill's through his acting, and when he kind of went back on his word, to me, I can compare that to you worked hard at something, you got it, it was only all right, and at first you're like, whatever, I'll take it. At first you're okay with it. But then you're not but you know it the whole time. You knew it from the beginning that it wasn't good, but you're like, whatever, I'll take it. It's like Hamill. It's like he had to do what he had to do, whatever, I'll take it. But he knew the whole time that this isn't gonna be good, and he said it, but
yeah. And what I feel like he's left with is basically just him doing interviews and talking about something that I think he's been pretty steadfast on, and he's kind of held his position.
He played ball, man.
Hey, yeah, exactly. I was professional. I did what I needed to do. This is the character that I played, but it's unlike, when he first was Luke or coming back for Empire, coming back for Return of the Jedi. It was just people enjoying the movie, and that was about that. Then you'd see him on, shampoo and, hair care products, or like other little, he'd show up in character on the Muppet Show or something of that nature. This is like, and maybe it's just the state of where we're at right now with social media and just the way we're, kind of hashing this out too. But it's kind of sad to see, in the sense of him just being almost in the same position we are. It's just like talking to the camera and talking about, well, I was Luke Skywalker one time.
Yeah. And so once again, he goes to talk about further, just real quick on this. I really feel like, and I remember when it happened. I remember when he said what he said, and exactly when he said it, because I follow him on Twitter, and I saw his tweets, and I saw what he's like, hey, wait a second, everybody, it's a great movie, and this and that, and I totally get what he was going for. He was just saying it. And I mean, to a certain degree, he's, he has to just swallow it. So.
Well, and he's definitely right when it comes to comparison between, The Last Jedi and Attack of the Clones. It is a great movie. The Last Jedi, that is. Not.
We're gonna get to that in the next video.
Sorry. I'm jumping videos.
He's trying to segue, which is fine.
I'm that's called, we call it a foreshadow.
Wait, a force shadow? What?
A force shadow, yeah.
So, and so once again, he talks about the feeling of ownership, of course, for Luke, it's hard. Fans have had such a diverse reactions, ranging from Star Wars 8 to being the best Star Wars of all time to ruining my childhood. But understand that I am only the sous chef, and he always has these great metaphors to describe what he's talking about. I am only the sous chef. The director creates the recipe. I just run it the best I can. So everyone thinks it's the best. This is a great line. So everyone thinks it's the best Star Wars you've ever had. And so that's a sideways jab there. And once again, he's saying it. He's being ever so subtle about it. But he's being true to what he originally thought, and he's being himself. So we love you, Mark. And
Keep up the good work. Yep.
Like I've said so many times on this channel, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Sorry, guys, but I want to hire him just to do for a day, to do a short film. Probably cost me 10 grand, and a flight out here. But get him to fly out here, or fly us there, and just film him. Even we could even interview him and talk to him about stuff. I would just love to meet the guy and do a movie. Honestly, I want to do a movie where he gets to be a cool character, and I want him to choose whatever he wants to do. He could do anything. He could be Sherlock Holmes for what. It's like I want the guy to I want him to be happy again.
Maybe
he could be the Joker.
Yeah, many times.
Live action. Well, there was one line at the end of it. The current trilogy is a new generation affair. It always reflects an era. Our era is retarded. Straight up.
Can you say that again,
eating
but use a different
Tide
word?
Pods, eating and snorting up condoms. Dude, there's some weird stuff going on. So it's like Star Wars reflects it. They killed off Luke. What is happening?
I think, and so this, in watching these movies that I watched today, we're going to talk about some other stuff in a minute. It did make me think about just the view of what they think is funny, and like you were saying, these things that Ryan was just so, he thought that these scenes would be funny to people, and they just aren't. So,
Yeah.
and anyway. Mark didn't think they were funny either. Okay, bye.
I thought they were hilarious.
You did?
Well, some of them I did,
Like the lightsaber over the shoulder and all that stuff?
That was not funny. The lightsaber over the shoulder was,
Weird.
That was
How about the blue milk scene?
Also weird.
Yeah, that was
Okay, well, and
that's,
I don't think...
that's like $80,000. That thing.
Oh, yeah?
That sea cow
That was
thing.
a big deal.
Like they built that thing, and it's like the size of this building.
Yeah, no, I could see
Just
that.
so you know.
The size of the room.
I can see that.
And just to reiterate, they spent so much freaking money on The Last Jedi. They spent twice as much as The Force Awakens. Just, you guys do realize that, right? I don't know if you guys even want. Anyway, it's just ludicrous. It's ludicrous.
I like the space cow.
But anyway, we're just gonna try to leave this video on a good note. I do want to hire Mark, even if we get to just go interview him for a day and pay him 20 grand or whatever we need to do to get him to interview. I want to meet the guy. I want to make a movie with him in it, even if it's a 5-minute movie about him doing something really cool. I've been a Mark Hamill fan since I was 8 or whatever, and I would love to just do that. So please subscribe and
Forward it to Mark.
Or put in suggestions, because, I mean, who knows? Maybe we could have Mark be
Yeah.
a sous chef, and he
That
just
would
shows
be
us how to
awesome.
make, Star Wars hotcakes, or,
Doesn't have,
just have
you know what? And it's actually
to direct us around.
and it doesn't have to be. And it doesn't have to be Star. As a matter of fact, I
It could be anything.
prefer it to be not Star Wars related for him, just to let him get out of it, dude. I would love, and like you were saying before, and I've said this many times, I'd love to see him as a live action Joker, of course. But honestly, I just would love to shoot the guy and just, I want to make a 5 or 10 minute movie with him doing something, just a really cool film. Anyway, sorry. Anyone have anything else more to say about it?
Yeah. Mark, come out. We'll show you a good time. We'll play some golf, kick it in the Utah weather. You can do some voiceovers. We'll do some funny stuff like shooting you. You can do some voiceovers on like a grocery store, whatever. Luke, Joker. We'll have a blast. Come out.
Well, you know what? Honestly, realistically speaking, I think we could probably, if we said, hey, give us an afternoon of your time and we'll pay you this much amount of money, we can fly out to his place. Like, that's what it would be. So
you want to see that, guys? Comment. Let us know.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks for listening, you guys. We love you, Mark Hamill, and we love you, Luke Skywalker. Thanks for joining us. You've been great to listen to us. We're the Fanaddicts of Film, and this is Blasterpiece Theater.